All right, welcome. Today we are diving deep into one of the biggest, most profound ideas in human philosophy, the law of karma. Now, it's a concept most of us have heard of, but do we really get it? Is it just fate, some kind of cosmic punishment system, or is it something much, much more powerful? Let's get into it. You know, we have to start with the question that kind of haunts all of us at some point. You see it every day, right? Genuinely good, hardworking people just get hit with incredible hardship, while others, who maybe cut corners or act selfishly, just seem to sail through life. It feels so unfair, doesn't it? It's enough to make you wonder if there are any rules at all. Well, for this explainer, our guide is this incredible ancient text called Gahana Karmanogati, which basically means the unfathomable speed of karma. And it doesn't just give simple answers. No, it suggests that what we see as total chaos is actually a perfectly balanced, super intricate system of cosmic justice. It's a huge claim, so let's see how it holds up. So here's our roadmap. First, we're going to tackle that big question of unfairness head-on. Then we'll look into this idea of a cosmic record keeper. After that, we'll break down the 3 types of suffering we all face. Then, we're going to pop the hood on the engine of karma itself. And finally, the best part, we'll see how all of this puts you in the driver's seat of your own life. Okay, so let's start right where we all start, with how unfair everything seems to be. I mean, that's the fundamental problem that sends us looking for answers in the first place, right? What's amazing is that the text doesn't brush this aside. It says it right there in the intro. It totally gets that from our point of view, day to day, the universe can feel like a complete lottery. And that's so important, because the philosophy of karma isn't asking you to ignore what you see. It's asking you to look deeper. So if life isn't just random chaos, what's the alternative? Well, the text says there's a system, a way of keeping track of, well, everything. And this brings us to this wild idea of a universal ledger of our actions. Now, in the traditional texts, this system gets a name, Chitragupta. But, and this is key, we're not talking about some literal guy in the sky with a big book. It's a symbol for an impersonal, natural law, just like gravity. It's not about judgment or punishment. It's pure cause and effect. And this law meticulously records every action and even every intention with total impartiality. And to really make this idea land, the text uses this brilliant analogy. Instead of a boring accountant, think of it like a cosmic gramophone record. Every single thing you do, or even think, carves a unique groove onto your soul's record. Nothing is ever lost. And sooner or later, the needle's gonna drop and play that groove back, creating the music or, the noise of your life. So, if our lives are kind of like a playback of our past actions, what sort of experiences are we talking about? This is where the text gets super practical. It actually breaks down all human suffering into 3 distinct categories. And just understanding these can really help us make sense of our own challenges. And just look at how this covers everything. First up, you've got Daivik. This is all the internal stuff, the mental anguish, anxiety, grief, that feeling of being insulted. Then in the middle is Dehik, which is all about the body, physical illness, injury, pain. And finally, Bautik. This is the external stuff, natural disasters, wars, things that happen to us from the outside world. The whole idea is that basically any kind of pain you could imagine fits neatly into one of these boxes. Okay, so we've got a cosmic record and we've got categories of suffering. But how does an action from way back then turn into a specific experience today? This is where we get into the real mechanics, the engine room of karma. Now, this is probably the biggest mental shift we have to make. Karma, according to this philosophy, isn't just some vague what goes around comes around vibe. Nope. It's described as a precise, almost mathematical system, as reliable as physics. It's not magic, it's mechanics. Let's break this down because this is really the core of everything. There are 3 categories. First, you've got Sanchita karma. I want you to picture a gigantic warehouse that holds every single action you've ever taken across all your lifetimes. That's Sanchita. Next, you have Prarabdha karma. This is the specific shipment from that warehouse that's been delivered for this lifetime. It's the hand you've been dealt, your body, your family, the big challenges you're destined to face. You can't refuse the delivery. But then, and this is the game changer, you have Kriyaman karma. These are the new choices you're making right now. This is your free will in action. So Sanchita is the total past, Prarabdha is the past affecting you now, and Kriyaman is you creating the future. And that last one, Kriyaman, that's where this whole philosophy just flips the script. It stops being about the past and becomes all about the future. This is where we move away from fate and into some serious personal power. I mean, how beautiful is this quote from the text? The clay, that's your prarabdha. It's the circumstances you've been given. You can't change the clay itself, but you are the potter. You have the freedom, the choice, the skill to shape that exact same clay into a simple pot or into a beautiful lamp that brings light to the world. The material is set, but what you create is totally up to you. This right here is probably the single biggest misunderstanding about karma. So many people think it means fate, like your whole life is already written and you're just a puppet. But that's not it at all. Fate says you're a passive victim. Karma says you are an active creator. Your past actions built your present reality, and your present actions are, right now, building your future. So let's make this super practical. What does this mean for you today? Look, you have to deal with your prarabdha, that hand you were dealt. No getting around it. But how you respond, your kriyaman, is 100% in your hands. And get this, the text says your positive actions right now can act like a shock absorber. They might not stop the bumps in the road that are coming from your past karma, but they can seriously soften the blow, making the ride a whole lot smoother. And that brings us to this completely radical new way of looking at things. In this view, suffering isn't punishment from on high, it's feedback. It's the universe sending you a signal that something is out of balance because of a past cause. And if you can see it that way, karma stops being this scary, inescapable fate. Instead, it becomes your greatest opportunity. An opportunity to learn, to grow, and to consciously, deliberately build a better future. So really, the ultimate message from Gahana Karmanagati is all about empowerment. The past created a blueprint for the life you have right now, sure, but you are the one holding the tools. Every thought you have, every word you say, every action you take is you, the architect, deciding what the next part of the building is going to look like. So the question it leaves us with is simple, but it's incredibly powerful. What will you build today?